Hi guys, okay, I'm going to create a laptop stand using sheet metal. It's a very simple stand and it just less than 20 steps and you can do it. And I'm using a physical material for the body that I set gold. Of course, we will not use gold to make this stand unless we are so rich, okay, but never mind. You can go to modified physical material and you can select the material that you like. So any material that are being used, they will all go up to in this design. So you can choose as many material that you want to and do your material calculation using generative workspace, but we will not talk about that, okay? So right now I'm using a gold material. How can I create design like this? And do I really need to draw so many boxes? That's an interesting question. We will start with more simple, create scratch. Let's draw the sidebar like this. Okay, so how can I draw the sidebar like this? We will copy these calculations and we have all these calculation material. So we'll go to the side of it, then we can start to shape it. You don't need to really exactly the same shape. You can roughly around there. You can draw the shapes that look similar like this. Then you start to do your material calculations. Use scratch dimensions and do the dimensions. The scratch dimension is over here. If you doesn't show on your top bar, you can go to create and you'll be able to see the scratch dimensions. Shortcut is D, okay? So left click once, let go, move the cursor to another side, left click once. Then you left click again and you can set the angle which you want. Alright? This is how we set the angle. Scratch dimensions not only to do the angle, to set the angle, it also able to set the distance. So I wanted to set the height of this. So I just left click, let go, left click again, and I can set the dimensions. Over here as well, left click, let go, left click. So it will do its own calculations, its own judgments, and of course on the bottom over here we can draw another line to join it together. And do you see, the line is not flat. Then in this case, what we can do, we can use horizontal and vertical constraints to help us to set it flat like this. Do you see? Before, it's like this. I accidentally draw out of the place. So I can use horizontal and vertical constraints, left click on it, and it will be flattened. This is how we draw the first, okay? Then, once we have set this, we click Finish Scratch. Then, we remember, stay, when you want to use any design workspace, any category in a design workspace, please stay in that workplace. Don't sometime in sheet metal, sometime in solid, sometime in mesh or surface. You know, we are going to use sheet metal as I mentioned. So let's stay in the sheet metal. I will not use extrude. I will use French and to set. And you'll ask, French is allow you to set the thickness. Why it doesn't have the dimensions? If you wanted to change the dimensions of the French distance, you can go to the sheet metal rules on top over here and you can go in and change the distance. You can change on this. If you want it to be maybe 10 mm, you'll be 10 mm thickness. So for me, I will just set as a default as it is. So once I have done this, then how can I complete to do this? If French itself, if I keep on ongoing doing the design, it will not be the same shape as you can see. French only allow you to move in one direction. So end up your design will not be perfect nice. In this case, this laptop stand, I'm going to get it a distance of 200 mm on this side. From this to this, I'm going to set a 200 mm, but now I give it half of the dimension, which is 100. You can see over here is 100. So once I have complete this, draw the sidebar, set the French distance of the plate I want the laptop to lie down on, 100 mm, half of the dimension which I want. Then I go over here to the bodies. Make sure you select the body, or you can window select, whichever you feel you like. So once we have selected it, we go to the create drop down menu. Do you see mirror? So we go to the mirror and we go to mirror plane. Which plane we want to mirror? We want to create the other half. Then I just come here and tap on the surface. Oh, one thing, when you mirror, you have to take notes of, you are not mirror the face. Go to the drop down menu. Make sure you are selecting the bodies. Okay? Just to play safe, you are selecting the body. Go to mirror plane, select that surface. So you will mirror exactly the other half, and you can select join to make sure they are joined together, and there will be a single piece. Let's check the distance. 190. Why 190? I thought it's 200. Because we have to also consider the bending part, 5 mm each side. So if you calculate all, 5 mm, 190, and 5 mm. So you have to calculate all these faces, you know, and do it. So once we have done this, how can we start to design it? So the first thing, I'll design the sidebar to material saving, because I know I'm going to use aluminum or gold. I can just cut it in this way to make sure that I can save the material. So I select this surface, then I go to create scratch. I can use this offset to help me draw out the distance I want it to be. So I want to have an offset of 10 mm for all sides. You can use your measurement tools and you can measure it 10 mm. Okay, so your offset all side 10 mm. Is it simple? Quite simple, right? Go back to the sheet metal, go to extrude, select this side. See the magical? I drag it to the other half, the other side. Yep, I cut it. Is it cute? But again, how can I draw the front to have the holder to hold the laptop in place and will not let it fall? I can use French and select the top edges and give it a thickness. Remember, the bending part is around 5 mm, so I'll give it 15 to hold it in place. So you can use a measurement tools to calculate 10 mm, because as the sheet metal rules, we have set 5 mm for the bending area. So once we have done this, and we wanted to start to design. So for design wise, I love about sheet metal is that we can unfold all these bending parts to add it in the flat surface for us to design. So I can go to modify, unfold rule, and select and unfold every single bending area. So right now you can see it's flat. Okay, now we have a flat surface. The first thing is the laptop holder to hold it, prevent it from falling. I wanted to cut away the unnecessary. I believe we just need the center parts will do. The both side, I don't really feel that is a need. And the distance is 190, as you can see. So I will use a scratch to draw it. The line you don't bother first, okay? You can draw any line that are bigger, doesn't matter. Then after which, how can I make sure that it's a straight line? Remember, we learned about parallel. So we can use parallel and set both lines to be exactly the same. But make sure you delete all these unnecessary, okay? Because Fusion 360 have a bit of its own mind. So it may set its own constraints. So make sure that if you want to set the constraint, select the previous that you don't want, then delete away. Then you choose the constraint that you want and set it. Alright. I need 2 lines to cut away both sides. So it's auto adjust. Then I will use scratch dimensions and to select. So in this way, I will be able to leave a little 70. So I'll go back to sheet metal, extrude, select both sides that I don't want, -10 to cut away. So once I refold it, I will have the stand look like this. Okay. So we go back here to design the diamond shape. So I go to create scratch. I wanted to select using line tools. We have all these shapes that are there, can help us to draw nicely. Because laptop stand, we need a place to cool down. why I'm using this line. Later I'll show you. Okay, now I draw the diamond shapes. Then I can go to create, select rectangular patterns, which is this. Okay, so I selected this rectangular, but normally if I select rectangular, the shape will look like this if I move it, rectangular pattern. But I wanted it to be slant, so direction itself, I will select these two. What it does is it will be slanted to the axis. Then you start to ask, yeah, so less only. It doesn't really create the pattern like what we have over here. So in this case, when you select rectangular patterns and you selected the design, the directions, okay, select the two lines that which we have drawn. Then we select the directions in the column symmetric. That means both sides also moving. And we can add as many as 30. We can move as many as we want. Okay? So once we have done this, we can go here and select, hold the shift button and select those that you want. And then go to sheet metal, extrude, and cut it off. So it will look like this. You can slowly select as you want to, and then to make it to a distance, to make it like this. Then once you're okay with the selections, you can even use SVG, the which I teach in the previous. You can go and select any design that which you like. Black and white will be good. Then you can use this online converter to convert the image into SVG and download it. Once you have done that, you can go to insert SVG. You can go there and bring your design. Oh, sorry, I forgotten to download my design. Oh, this is my previous design, which I feel that I want to, but the design is not so good because it's not close. So what I need to do is always remove all the unnecessary. Go there, download. Once you download, choose the file which you like. Once it upload finish, then you press the start button. Once it completed, you press the download. So it'll be here. Then you go over here, insert drop down menu, insert SVG, insert from my computer, select the design. Why it's not there? Use your cursor, zoom out. You will find the design is there. You can go and reduce the design. You can rotate the design. You can play around. Of course, you can decorate as much as you can. So once I'm comfortable with it, I go back to the sheet metal, use the extrude, and select the design and cut it off. So once I'm okay with the design and I have finalized it, I can refold it back. Once I refold it back, I can do some of the refinement, like this side to hold the laptop in place. This side, there are sharp corners. I can use fillet. Select the corners. Select it and round it. Because I know the thickness is 10 mm, so I just radius it 10 mm so it'll look nice. Of course, this side, the sharp corners, we can also use the fillets on both sides to let it round a bit so that it doesn't have too much of the sharp corners. Once you have done it, go to modify, go to physical material, go and choose the material that you like. But for sheet metal, majority will use metal category library. You can use brass, you can use copper, depends on what material you have, but it doesn't matter. It's up to you really. So maybe I wanted to use aluminium. Then once you have done this, always remember, save your file, then go to the design workspace drop down menu, go to render. You can go to scene setting. I always prefer the environment setting. I can choose any of them, right click, apply to scene. But remember, if for those who have this, you need to download it first before you can apply it. Okay, so once I have done that, I can go over here, I can adjust, I can adjust the angle, I can select whichever I want to. I can blur it a bit. Once you have set it nice and well, then you can use an in-canvas render. You also can use this render if you have the credit, but credit, remember, you have to pay it. So I will use an in-canvas render, and you will stop at the excellence. Once it stops, you can capture the image. It will take a few seconds, depends on how much colors, what material you use. So the more material you use, or the more complicated your design is, the rendering will take longer time. Once you have done that and you're okay with the design, you can just capture the image and save to your computer. So it can look something like this. Okay. Of course, it still need a long time to make it look like real physical product, but never mind. You can just test it out yourself, and that's all for now.